All right, so let's see. We're done with the recording of the meeting. Check that off. Next one is status updates. Does anybody have anything they'd like to mention in regards to the learning subteam? What they've been working on?
Thank you, Javier, for merging the migration guide.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked at what or how that is presented on the website just quite yet. So should probably do that.
I made a PR to update the docs command to match pack V016. I also made, I think, 1 or 2 PRs to samples to also make some relevant changes for that. Looking into additionally to actually publishing the samples Buildpacks on the registry. There was a discussion about that in the distribution channel. Just trying to figure out what to do it for versioning, things of the sort.
Good point. That's going to be interesting. Do you have any thoughts there or still just exploring?
I'm not really sure. It's nice not having to worry about actually explicitly versioning the sample build packs, which makes it a bit annoying. We could, just keep in be conscious of what we actually release, or maybe we don't actually publish. I have to think a bit more deeply. That was just something that came to mind that I wanted to discuss and think out a bit more. If anybody has any other suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely lean towards not publishing them, but I also don't feel super strongly about that. With regard to versioning, is it possible to do 000 and then like dash beta or something like that, and never actually have any numbers? And I'm guessing nobody knows off the top of their head, but that's one possibility. I would say the hill that I would die on is less than 1.0. You know what I mean?
Yes,
any kind
for
of
sure.
Like any kind of 1.0 would indicate that it is, something you can use. So
the reason, the thing that drove me to this is, or that made me think about it, is because there's an issue in samples from, I think, Cora from VMware about having some published or packaged version of the sample build packs that she could use it in demos. So once that was the case, she had suggested just having a zip file that we can, she can download. I was like, instead of doing that, it'd be better to at least demonstrate. Oh, we have this registry.
I'm curious what she's doing though, because like, what's wrong with a real build pack in the registry? Or is it like, is she trying to shortcut some part of the demo process? It's just like that. I mean, I definitely get doing things for like, is she a dev advocate? Is that what her role is? Yeah, I mean, I definitely get doing that, doing things like even special pack commands, like the create build pack. That's not exactly, I don't know if you saw a PR for like creating build pack scaffolding. It's not exactly the same thing, but I'm definitely in favor of doing things that make education and stuff like that easier. But it does make me wonder if there's like, if you're teaching something like that, why not use like an actual real life build pack? Or if you're skipping a step, why? I'm just curious.
So based on what I've seen her produce, and I think it aligns very well with what we do here on this team, is we try not to be very biased towards any specific set of build packs. So having the sample build packs allows us to be that, like, kind of,
yeah, that makes sense,
center person. Like we can't, we definitely don't want to put like either Heroku or the Pacato or Google build packs as part of any sort of tutorial or guide. And so I think a lot of stuff she's produces pretty much in the same vein. So I think that's where this would be handy to have. And aside from the complexity of versioning, right, I think it's like a very nice, easy way to really sample what this feature looks like.
Yeah,
It makes
it's
sense.
been open. It's been open for a while. It's not something she's been pressing for. I just like, oh, it's an open issue. That would be one better way of solving it than just publishing a zip file.
Yeah, I think the idea, the Semver versioning is somewhat limiting, right? Because otherwise I would say like if you just do like image tags, you could put in whatever, right? So it could be like the git commit. We could do something very similar to that with if we use Semver versioning, and then use metadata, right? That should be allowed by the registry, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I didn't understand the use metadata.
So Semver versioning would have like 0.0.0 plus, and then you could do like get
Oh, that
that
okay. So the
syntax.
part
Yeah.
after the plus is called metadata. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I've not heard that before.
So the dash would be like pre-release. The plus would be metadata. And so if we did metadata, if we could use metadata, then attribute that to the git commit hash, and we should be able to use it that way. The
Yes,
only
that's
problem
also
would be,
fairly gross for a sample, for like a tutorial, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say the problem is we can't determine latest based on that, right? Our current mechanism for determining latest would not work very well.
Aggressively yank. We could have one in the registry at a time and just publish yank, publish yank.
Or
that could lead to some
yank
problems.
publish probably.
Yeah, that could still be problematic though.
All right, we have some ideas. Maybe it's worth thinking about it.
Well, yeah, I'd be fine with a 001, 002, 003 ad infinitum, but yeah, I think like you said, it's when I don't know, and just bump it aggressively. I don't know.
All right.
The real problem is that we're not in the business of making build packs, right? It's like, hey, here's how you should go learn build packs. We don't have any, because we want to be neutral, but it definitely comes up again and again. But I also don't want to get in the business of CMB of official build packs unless it's something really truly ubiquitous, like potentially like an apt build pack or something.
I felt like a Minecraft build pack.
Let's sanction it. Put it in build packs.
Adopt it, but yeah. Okay, so I'll look into doing that more.
Cool. All right. Sorry, we went into a little bit of a rabbit hole there. Any other status updates? Okay. Moving on, user research. Do we have an update here?
I don't think much changed from last week. Sam is conducting the first, I think, 4 to 5 interviews, and I know he got feedback on some of the questions and wording in the working group on Thursday. So I think once those first few interviews are completed, there'll be kind of like a regroup and maybe either reach out to more people or choose like specific people to try out features of Buildpacks and give their feedback on like a very narrow set of capabilities.
Cool. And yeah, from what I saw, I think he shared some pieces of information in the user research channel. So if you're interested in looking at some of that, that's where it resides. Okay, moving on. Unlabeled issues, just looking at those real quick. We have 4, so great. Seems like we've been adding stuff to this. The operator, how do we control location of layers? Isn't that an implementation concern?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll add that real quick. Here, I'll share my screen just so it's easy to tag along. All right, so we have that one. Next one, mixins documentation is not clear enough. Is this implementations as well? I guess it could be platform.
What I was thinking about, because like we take mixins, I guess, but we don't actually do anything with them. We kind of just shunt them off to the life cycle. Well, I guess no, we set them into the builders.
Yeah, so I think the problem right now is that platform does validation, but if I recall correctly, we want to move that validation into the lifecycle for it to be done there
I was
as
gonna
well.
say, I feel like the spec is also unclear, is not clear enough. And that's what we're working through with Stackpacks right now, is the like the first phase of it is just mixing stuff in the spec, which is also, which is in part moving mix and validation to the life cycle. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so it seems like that's where we want to go long term. So I'll add it there.
Yeah.
Cool. And then using HTTP proxy during build. The heck is this? Okay, so this is a guide for the app developer.
Oh, this is, yeah.
Okay, I think learning team could do this since we don't have an app team.
There was one issue for troubleshooting. Did that go away?
That I put for both implementation and platform, because probably both of them should have some troubleshooting things.
Oh, yeah, like that would depend really based on the page, right?
Yeah, meaning people can run the lifecycle directly, and there probably should be a troubleshooting thing for these are some errors you may see, but Pack should also definitely have.
Cool. Yeah, and whoever maybe starts working on that could break it off into 2 issues, one for each team if they don't want to do both sides. Cool. All right, moving on. So we have Buildpack registry launch plan, I believe. Joe, that's you.
Yeah, I just wanted to share this doc. I don't think there's much to do for us. I do have a PR open for publishing to the registry. Other than that, there's blogs that are gonna be a part of the announcement. I think Travis will probably write those, but we own the blog, so I think there's a bit of a chicken and egg problem in that, like, you want to have the docs out there when you do the launch, but when you put the docs out there, it's sort of like a launch. So I think like it's easy enough to do something like the publish, which is a separate page. As I was thinking about the consuming from the registry, initially I was planning on having like a page that was, here's how you consume from the registry, but I think it's more that it more should be just pervasive through the docs.
Yeah.
Like it should just kind of be the way it works. Sort of, yeah, like if we have a, here's how you use the registry page, like we're doing something wrong, like it should just work or shouldn't really have to think about it. So I think the specifying Buildpacks page, which talks about the URLs, and that was recently updated to include the registry, is sufficient. But yeah, so if you think there's anything else that belongs in the doc, feel free to add it. I think you all have edit access from that link. If not, comment. So
I guess how are we working through this document? Is it something that you and Travis are owning? Is it something that we need further collaboration and coordination?
No, I kind of see it as like distribution team owns this, since distribution team is sort of responsible for the launch. Like I said, Travis is going to do the blogs, I'm doing the docs. So it's more awareness that I'm bringing it up. If you want to contribute to it, it's absolutely fine. But yeah, it's really distribution team's responsibility, the way I see it.
Cool. And then I guess, do we plan on doing something that we've done for the pack releases where we'll have like a release branch and you could start throwing all the changes into that. And then once we actually do the launch, we could merge that big branch into main and publish it that way. that could be a strategy we could take.
Could. Yeah, we could do it that way. I guess what I was thinking was like, just more incrementally roll things out, like add this page, like the specifying URLs or specifying build packs with URI stuff is kind of like that. The purpose of it being like to slowly get people trying it and using it. Like we're starting to move over to it completely on the Heroku side, just to, you know, verify that everything works. So you mean like a release branch on the docs repo? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. Yeah, if like
Yeah.
the intent was to have like just one big event, right, versus incremental, that would be a choice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel strongly about the incremental thing. Maybe how about let's do this. Take a look at the PR that I've linked there for publishing to the registry. Just when you get a chance, it's not urgent, and see what you think about that going in before the like launch, where I see the GA launch as being, you have a tweet, you do a blog post. I'll probably just reach out to like dev advocates I know and be like, hey, you should start using this in your demos, and maybe we'll get some content on Dev2 or whatever, that kind of thing. But before that, it would be just like, oh yeah, there's a doc there, and then when somebody asks a question, you link to it. Yeah, so I take a look at that PR and see what you think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because from my understanding is like this functionality already exists, right? So it's just about publicizing it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Joe, I don't know if you saw, but I opened up an issue on samples to add some of those to samples as well. Or no, that was something different. That was about the metadata and pack. Never mind.
Cool. Sounds like a plan. Anything else on that?
Nope.
All right. I think we've reached the end. If there's nothing else, then we could just see each other online. All right. See y'all.
Yeah.
Bye.